Alrighty, hey guys, welcome back to another discussion thread video. I've been doing a lot of these today. I'm here for more. I'm here to debate. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, we're gonna go over this. We're gonna see what the player has to say and what the devs have to say as well. We got a pretty beefy statement right over here. But yeah, I just did a video on a thread that was kind of controversial, so I said a lot of stuff that people aren't probably gonna agree on. But I'm still going to put it out because I want to get my opinion out. You guys like when I speak my truth, so I'm going to keep doing that, right? But here's the thread at hand. What are the most profitable workshops? I'm going to link this down below for you guys to check out. And we're going to go from there as of 1.5.6. Alrighty, so main guy. After several tries, I really can't figure out which workshops make the most money. What are the best workshop choices? I need your help. There it is. So a player states he made breweries are always let me explain something to you. Breweries are always a good choice. There's a lot of grain villages. It's just always a good choice in my opinion. It's always a safe choice. You can always start out with a brewery, or you can always change the production to a brewery if your first choice doesn't work. That's how it's always been. Brewery has always been a close second or third every single patch, regardless of which ones got nerfed. Brewery was always top 3 in my opinion. He says the main loot he only gets is from loot right now. Okay. Will we reason the east towns consistent buy and consume their output even with 0 luxury modifier? Okay. Too bad the income is so low. Okay. So if the dev responding, continue investing money on workshops. If you have more than 20 or 30k, they'll be more profitable 1.5.7. A small bug decreased their profit in 1.5.6 to 100 as daily and 200 as daily average. While building your workshop, check input items price at town's marketplace and production type of around villages. So obviously the basics. So what he means by this, so you go to a town, check what villages are around, the ones that are connected to the town directly, and also the ones that are close to castles, but are also close to towns because they bring their produce to the town and not the castle. So check those out, see what they're producing. And he also says check out the items price of the thing that would be produced in your, in the town that your workshop is in, and see if it's a good price, right? All right, we have another player making a statement and a question, and then we have a dev response. To be honest, I think the economy system that Tailworlds is building is great, complex, and hard to master. I mean, you have villages producing stuff, markets, caravans, workshops, trading, everything, etc. interconnected, looks nice. But the benefit you get from all these economic structures are really low, and when you are short of money, you need to just fight some big battles and problem resolved. Even you don't need the unbalanced smithing. So why to put efforts in such complex economic model when the player is mostly going to ignore it as a money source and just do some fights to earn money when he needs? I mean, I understand the battle are the core of the game and should be rewarding, but of course, why everything else? Alrighty, so before he answers, let me explain something to you. So here it is. Here's the real life comparison. So let's say, so he says obviously that the economy stuff is great, but you still earn a low amount. So in the real world, I'm not the richest guy around, but when you make an investment, let's say for example, stocks that give dividends, right? So stocks are like this thing that, it's like a part of a company, and the more you own, the more kind of say you have on the company. Most of the time, most people don't own it much at all, but for what they own, some stocks give dividends, which are payments, not every month. It's like every other couple months, whatever the contract or the thing is. Like I said, I'm not the best person with this. But the dividends are like a very small amount that gets paid to you for owning that stock, right? And it's based, I'm pretty sure, on stock price and all that, right? And the more you own, the more dividends you get. But it's a very, very, very small percentage of the stock you own that you get as a dividend. If you own, for example, I would say $1,000 in a certain stock, you would only get every couple months what is it, like $1, $2, or $3, something around there? Maybe a little bit more. I don't know exactly the amount, but it's a very, very small amount. It's an investment. Now, going back into the game, you get a workshop. You know, you can see kind of the same way. You get a workshop for 15,000, from 12,000 to 17,000. It ranges based on the prosperity, right? Same way as a stock, based on the stock price. Ooh, this is a good analogy. But so you get a workshop, and it's gonna make you a small incremental amount over time until you get your investment back. That's what it is. And just like a stock, you can sell the stock back if you don't like it, and you can sell the workshop back if you don't like it. Simple as that. So that's kind of how it works. It's a safer investment, same way as a lot of stocks are a little bit safer investments. The stocks that always go up, the stocks that are important to the world, you can get them, but you're going to get a very, very, very small dividend because they're very safe and successful. That's just, how it works. Now, the whole point of the battle being very rewarding is because it's a big risk. You can lose the battle. You can lose everything. It's a bigger risk, so there's bigger reward. Obviously, people who buy stocks and people who, let's say, what else can you do to make you good money? Let's say you start a construction company. They make some good money. Hey, construction companies make some good money. Let me tell you. You can open up a construction company, but you have to put a lot of hard work into it. But you're going to make a lot more, a lot quicker than, let's say, your dividends every single. You can set up your dividends to get it every single month if you do like different companies and stuff. But it's more risk because you opened up your own company. You have to incur a lot of fees, get a lot of the building materials, get a lot of the work, the labor that you need to make all that work. Yes, you'll make a bigger chunk, but it's more risk. So therefore it kind of in a way balances out. So there it is. That's my analogy. I thought that was pretty good. Hey, that was, listen, I'm gonna congratulate myself. I don't want to hear nothing else. You know what I mean? But look, okay, let's get back to it. So Dev responds, Thank you. Made a good analysis about economy system at game. Yes, we try to achieve the connection of world elements to create all world economy. So caravans, villages, workshops, looters, all are somehow connected, and they're making money from all real actions. So if a bandit hideout appeared near a village, its tax and connected towns, workshops are all affected. If you loot these looters, which looted your villagers / caravan, you get more money plundered. And just before I continue this, let me explain something to you. This concept that they have where like stuff like that can impact like how the economy works and how, like he said right here, villages, markets, caravans, workshops, trading, they're all kind of connected in a way, is crazy. From a developer standpoint, I'm not a developer. I'm not there. I did a little bit of coding. I try to dip my toes a little bit in the water, but look, the amount of complexity to make sure all this like works like a well-oiled machine, and you know what I mean, like the workshops pay out and the economy keeps going and the production keeps coming up and they keep producing food so the villagers can eat the food and also so people can buy the food, and all of this just working all interconnected and woven into each other is so crazy if you think about it. If you just, oh my, like it's underestimated. I think it's very underestimated because people are like, oh, well, all this just to make 100. I get it. But it's just so complex. Like it would make your brain hurt if you just, even if you don't know coding, just try to like picture that all those other stuff in your head working and all the ifs and ands, if this happens, if that happens. There's just too much in my opinion, which is very good, but it's underappreciated. Alrighty. So about your criticism, yes, currently income from these sources are low. One caravan is making 300 per day. One workshop is making 100 per day. Usually make 200 per day, but 1.5.6 is buggy. One village makes 100, 200, 300 per day according to the production type and hearth value. These are not big numbers, you are right. However, these numbers are what they need to be actually. If players get money by selling loot stuff mostly, it seems looting brings more than it should, or if there is an exploited smithing, it is broken and needs to be fixed ASAP. Unfortunately, it's broken since EA started. Because other income sources are more powerful, we cannot make 1k invested workshop / caravan bring back 0.5 to 1k daily. Yes, they can't do that because that would break the economy massively. And another thing, I don't think the looting values are outrageous. The smithing values, of course, yeah, smithing is just woo. That is broken as can be. Let me tell you. But in terms of like the looting value after battles and stuff, I think it's fine. And I think if people want a more realistic and more kind of like better gameplay, put all your stuff on realistic. Put your combat on veteran, enable deaths, put everything on realistic, and then play the game. Then you will really see the the risk and reward of, let's say, something like getting into big battles and stuff. Because you're gonna get it. Sometimes you're gonna get it. You can see my recent playthrough where obviously I was just messing around, but I was losing some very easy fights that I should have won because obviously everything's unrealistic, and that makes the game a lot more challenging. I think everyone should play that if they want a more challenging experience. Because I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's too easy to get this." Go on realistic. You know what I'm saying? Go do that. Try not to use as much horses. You're gonna feel some pain. Let me tell you. But all right. If this is the case, you will get your money back in 15 days, 1 game season. In real world, nothing works like that. Here we go! Bro, I'm telling you, bro, we on the same wavelength, man. Is it what I just say? Okay. Okay, we are not trying to make the game a real world simulator, of course. It does not seem entertaining if you try to do this, but in my opinion, if one caravan or workshop pay back their investment in 20 or 30 days, this is not a good design. True facts. And here's how I see it. Let me just finish this paragraph. Currently, game is not totally balanced, so incomes from economic elements can seem weak because of this, maybe. Okay. Now, here's how I see it. How can I explain this? What's the best way to explain this, in my opinion? So let's say you're going, you're starting a new game, whatever, right? You get your first workshop, your second one, your third one, then you get a couple caravans, and you're down like, let's say 120k. But now you're getting at least like 700 to 1,000 a day, right? But you're down like maybe 150k, 200k, around there, right? And here's the thing. I feel it's very important to have that passive daily income that will pay for your wage and also make your money incrementally go up. I think that just the economics, I think overall, even if you lose more than you gain, I think it's still, it gives you like that good push and that good extra money daily that you can recruit more, you can get more, and over time it just snowballs in a way, right? That passive money plus all the extra stuff that you do on top of it, I think it snowballs. Even if you don't make all your investment back off that money that you started out with, that you put into those workshops and you put into those caravans, that daily investment kind of encourages you to kind of do more and more and more, and it just builds up. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain that concept, but it's better to see. How can I say this? It's better. Let's say one person has 30,000, but they're losing 200 a day, right? They have 30,000, but losing 200 a day to their wage, and they have no investments. And then you have the guy who has 10,000, but he's gaining 50 a day, and his wages are all paid for. Which would you rather be? That's the question. And in my opinion, I would be the 10,000 guy who gets plus 50 instead of losing 200 a day, but have less money overall, because I know that, you know what I mean, that the money is coming in always. It's still going there, right? Without me having to even do anything, I could, do this and do that. I don't have to always focus on just constant battles to make sure my money doesn't go down completely. If that kind of makes sense, right? But yeah, I don't know exactly what that's called. They might have like an economic name to it, but there it is. Alrighty, Dev continues. Sometimes a player plays 200 tier 5 elite troops to a castle garrison which has less prosperity. Then he wants caravan or workshop to pay his daily wages somehow. True. That's expensive, man. When this does not happen, and when he goes bankrupt, he gets angry. However, players should not stack 200 elite troops to a castle garrison, or should not upgrade his troops if he has not enough money. Also out of topic, I accept castles should be more strategic fiefs because their economic benefits are already weak. Yeah, there it is. Makes sense. You know, this is something that would cost a lot, and if you're upset that it costs a lot, well, I don't know what to tell you. That's it is what it is. You know, if you have all these big troops in a garrison, they still gotta get paid. You know what I mean? So it is what it. I don't know how else. It is what it is. That's really all you can say. This is something we need to fix. Oh, he's talking about castles obviously not having the strategic advantage as it should. They have no military or economic benefit currently. This is something we need to fix. If we make general game economy balanced, and if we could offer player alternative solutions to his problems, then there will be no need to increase caravan workshop profits. Daily 200 workshop and 300, 400 average caravan will be reasonable. I think it's reasonable right now. I'm going to go out there and say I think it's reasonable. I think, you know, it's a small percentage that you get every single day from an investment that you made. I think it's reasonable. And if you make it in a safe location, if you do it the right way, you're going to make good money. One last addition, Dev responds, or Dev continues. Because all world elements are connected somehow, only one new addition can damage workshops' caravan profits. Exactly. This is why it's so crazy and interconnected and so complex. Like, people think, oh, let's just add this in, let's just do this, let's just do that. But like, if you do that, you then have to change all the other values around and everything else, because everything is interconnected and it's made to work together. So again, difficult. For example, cavalry ratio speed bonus will be reduced to 40% from 60% in 1.5.7 to make overall world balance and gameplay better / reduce OP of Khazaits. This reduce at speed bonus of cavalry ratio increase daily cavalry loss ratio 1% from 0.5%, no enemy case. Okay, so you lose more cavalry now because of this. Because caravans have high cavalry ratios and they were faster with this bonus when this bonus was 60. Like in this example, even they did not change anything about how caravans work, their expected ROI, return investment, and average life on map is reduced. There it is. So obviously, since they have a lot of cavalry units, this reduction from 60 to 40% makes it so their return investment is lower, and also their average life is lower as well. They're going to get captured more. So again, see, this is stuff people don't exactly think about. They think, oh, boom, just nerf the Khazaits, just do this. But this has problems with a lot of other stuff. And then if caravans are doing very poorly, those are the trains of Calradia. You know what I mean? They carry the produce from one place to another. You know what I mean? They're the faster version of like villagers going from their villages to their towns. They go from town to town and they trade and they keep the economy going. And if you don't have that, well, you have an economy that's going to fail. So there's so much there's so much to think about. So in some patches, these profit expectations can be broken, but we will fix them when we see it. What happened in workshops in 1.5.6 is something like this. Also, I see caravan problem because it is released and give caravans a small speed bonus to keep an average daily caravan loss ratio at 0.5% at 1.5.7. Okay, so he's thinking about giving caravans a small speed bonus. Okay. I think we have another one. Yes, the last reply. All right, so we have a player making a statement, probably asking a question. Would it be possible to include workshop levels, something like expanding the size of our operation to increase output capacity? So instead of using 1 grain to produce 1 beer at a cycle, we can invest more money to increase the production to take 2 grain and produce 2 beers. I don't know if this is exactly the way it currently works. It is just an example. The idea behind it is to allow us to increase our passive income and balance it with our investment requirements. Plus, it also factors into item prices. So increasing the operation would be profitable if the town had enough supply, connected villages in good condition, plus producing the resources required. And if there were enough caravans going by to prevent produced goods from flooding the market and causing the price to drop too much. Ooh, there we go. He thought of everything. There it is. Very interested to see what he's going to say about this. There's been some talk about workshop upgrades in the past, but not. It's kind of been dead in the water. There's not too much about it, but let's see what he has to say. This should be done only after adding inventory to shops, so a player can buy a cheap input item and move them to the inventory of the shop. Shop first uses these items, and if these are depleted, then they should buy from town marketplace. Otherwise, increasing conversion amounts will not end with higher daily profit in 60 to 70% of cases. Okay, so he's pretty much saying if you increase the amount that's being made, the demand is still going to stay the same, so therefore you're not really going to make more profit. You're just going to have a lot of stuff sitting on the shelves. But he says something about inventories to shops. The question is this something they're thinking of? Not really said right here. It's probably something that, he has the idea of, but it's not really been brought up in conversation. It is interesting, but nothing really confirmed. Alrighty, another player. Caravans. No, my last one. Who cost 22.5, made 2K before they were destroyed by looters. Okay. In terms of this, before he answers this, it's still a risk. It's not a workshop. How can I explain this? Workshops are the safest investment you can make, especially early game when you're not at war with anybody. It's the safest investment you can make. It can't be destroyed. It can't be overtaken. The only time it can be is if you become at war with that kingdom. That's why I'm saying before that. It's the safest one. If you do it safe, if you make the workshop in a safe place, let's say you're a mercenary or even a vassal of a kingdom, if you make it in a safe area all the way in the back of your kingdom, it's as safe as can be, right? Caravans, on the other hand, they cost more, but they have a risk to them. They travel all around the world. Yes, they're faster because they have a high cavalry ratio, as talked about here. And yes, you can get higher level troops, but at the same time, it could still be taken down. Of course. That's just, it is what it is. And sometimes you'll make a profit. Sometimes you'll lose it. You know what I mean? Don't think just because you wasted 22.5K that all of a sudden you're entitled to make your whole investment back. Let me tell you something. In the real world, there's people who invest millions into projects and they just die out. And there's a lot of these people who invest thousands, who invest hundreds of thousands, who invest millions, you know what I mean, into projects that just don't work out. Investments that just don't work out. That's a life. It is what it is. That's just, it's risk and reward. Even something that might sound safe, you can still lose in it. You know what I mean? You could get unlucky. That's life. But Dev responds, each caravan has 0.5% daily being destroyed probability and average. So if you assume 10,000 forum users built caravans till now, 2 to 300 of them lost their caravans in the first 5 to 10 days. No enemy kingdom case. There it is. So he pretty much states every single caravan has a 0.5% chance. That's half of 1%, not 50% for people who are, you know what I mean? They have less than a 1% chance, half of 1% chance to be destroyed daily. So therefore, you could get a caravan and you can roll the 0.5 the next day and lose it. It's probability. It could happen. It's very rare, but it could happen. And as he states here, if 10,000 people build a caravan, you know what I mean? And about 2 to 300 of them will be lost in the first 5 to 10 days. And if all 2 to 300 of those people come to the forums and say it and make it sound like it's such a big deal, it might seem that way, but it's not accounting for all the people who made caravans and they're doing fine. If that kind of makes sense, right? But yeah, there it is. Another discussion video. Some good points, I think. Let me know what you guys think. Ask me any questions, any concerns, and like always, stay safe.